here, all about the Archers. I'm Philippa.
I'm Katie.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Quentin, in a car park in Padstow.
In the rain.
Again.
And we are here to talk to you all about what's happened in the Archers so far. We will be particularly focusing on the episodes from Sunday the 25th, Monday the 26th, and Tuesday the 27th of August. There will be spoilers, you have been warned. What did we think of the week so far? What did we think of tonight's episode? Katie, I'm coming to you first.
Well, it's weird because I feel like things have happened, but also nothing's happened. I feel like the Clive thing's like, woo, Clive, and I'm quite excited to speak to you both because me and Lauren are fairly new to this, so I feel like we're going to have a million questions. We might need a longer episode. But also at the same time, it's a bit like, what's happened? It not much has happened. It's all building itself up nicely, and I like where it's going. But yeah, we've got a proper baddie in the town.
There was a lot of like Clive chat tonight, wasn't there? So please fill me and Katie in. What is the backstory with Clive? I need to know.
Go on, Quentin.
No, you know more than I do. You go, Philippa, because I know bits. Holding up a post office, I think, is much lower.
Yeah,
Right.
and he'd done a lot of burglaries, and George Barford, I think it was, sort of sold him to the authorities. And I think he went to prison for that, and he was so aggrieved by that, he had this vendetta against George and did some awful stuff, and even attacked horses with a Stanley knife.
Oh, God.
Held, was it the post office or the shop to ransom?
Yeah, that's right.
Attacked the horses because I think he thought that was still part of George's empire, but it wasn't. Awful things. Got sent to prison, and he went into hiding and made Susan hide him.
Yes.
Susan then got sent to prison for hiding a criminal.
Yes.
And she absconded for 10 days when it was Shula's husband's funeral, or she just absconded. She got another 10 days added on to her sentence. So there's never been a nice moment of Clive, as far as I can remember. He's nasty through and through.
He's a new man.
He is.
Seemingly.
Well, what do we think about that, Quentin?
A near-death experience. He likes pineapples. He does yoga.
So much pineapple chat. Fancy a pineapple.
I don't believe a word of it. And he's going to, because George has spilled the beans to him, he's going to make life hell for Emma and Will, isn't he? He'll use it to try and see his father, probably. But no good will come of this, women. No good will come of this. I warn you. Yeah.
Slightly reflected in what Susan did for Clive is maybe what Emma and Will, what they're currently doing for George. So there are going to be some links and some chats there, maybe.
Interesting.
Well, they are abetting. Well, they're perverting the course of justice. Those two, aren't they? Because they have material knowledge that would completely change the case. So they're in deep doodahs anyway.
Yeah.
So, but good comparison, Lauren. Good comparison.
Yeah, if we were having to write an A-level paper on the Archers, that would be the winning. That would be the A-star for us if we did that.
What's Grandad Horribin's name? He wasn't referred to today, was he? What's his?
No.
Bert. That's right. It's a different. It's a different. Because we have Bert Fry and Bert Horrible, that's right. Yes. I think it's messy anyway. It's just going to get really messy.
For me, the three pieces that directed me to the fact that Clive is not to be trusted, despite all the flannel, was that he threatened Will and Emma to tell Ambridge.
Yeah.
He doesn't acknowledge the guilt of his past crime, so he's not reformed at all. And it just seems like he's not here for George at all from the speak he was giving. Enough about that. And joking about the river, I just thought was intolerable.
Too soon, Clive, too soon.
But he was upset by Susan. Poor lad. Diddums, yes.
Well, he wasn't. No. I assumed that was all put on for effect, was it? We didn't actually hear that conversation. We just heard George reporting it. So
it was just to put some... twist George's emotions still further. Yeah.
But Katie, what did you think about the scene yesterday when we heard him approach Susan?
I know it was creepy in that supermarket because you feel like there's a lot of people around you, but also everyone is so wrapped up in their own business. No one's going to be aware of what's happening. So poor Susan, you'd have felt really alone and really vulnerable, I think, in the middle of that supermarket. But I will say today, I absolutely loved the Susan and Tracy chat. I just thought that sounded like the most natural chat I've heard in ages on the Archers, because it was a little bit of talking over each other. They were just having a proper natter. I really loved it. I thought it sounded really good tonight.
I agree. It's very well acted and written for them.
And the return of Brad was lovely too.
Yeah, but those those two sisters act very well together. Yeah, they're very believable, aren't they? A bit like Tracy
definitely.
and Chelsea as mother and daughter. But also, Clive is just, he gave an assurance that he would keep a low profile, and he's wandering around supermarkets. So it's just
Pushing pineapples on people.
Yeah, they're full of
vitamin B.
B, yeah.
B vitamin, she kept saying.
Well, that was one of my favourite lines tonight. Was I don't believe a word of what he tells me, but I do believe that pineapples are full of vitamin B. That was a nice line. Yes.
Public service announcement.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the moment in the shot was superbly acted. I really did. Just Susan's tone was fantastic. Although there was some confusion on the socials today because people were saying, "Are Tin Tams really available in Ambridge? What are the biscuit are they referring to?" And I had to say, I don't think it was Tin Tams. I think it was Tinned Ham.
Oh,
Tinned ham. Tinned ham.
Exactly.
Yes.
So there was some confusion. Okay, let's go back to Sunday night when we had plodding on, cantering on, whatever it was on. What did we think of the fate and all of that? Katie? Sorry.
I loved the steam organ in the background. I love a steam organ, you know, those little plinky plonky things. And just every time it told you that they were at the fete, that was in the background. And to me, that makes a proper fete. I would have spent more time at the fete than cantering on if they'd had one of those little steam organs.
So that was a fave. Lauren,
Yes.
faves, flops?
well, flops was how much Lillian was absolutely getting off on Justin in all his gear. She couldn't stop going on about it, could she? She loved it, she said. She loved it. A flop from there, though, is that I feel like Justin's his treatment of Alice, in particular his treatment of Alice, not particularly to her face either, has gone sort of beyond worrying about the stables and now feels quite personal and like icky. Like, I'm not happy with it at all. But yeah, she seems to be cracking on quite well. Loved the book stall, obviously. Very excited to hear the book stall. But I'm not sure I would have been picking any of the books. A Lee Child book or a book on cricket coaching, neither of those really appealed to me.
No. Absolutely. Quentin, what about you? What did you think of it?
Yeah. I as Katie says, it was very atmospheric. I felt I was there, and they flip flop between the two scenes very effectively, I thought. Nice details about Wang in the welly and stuff like that, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed Azra's growing exasperation about being effectively forced to have an open GP surgery, which I thoroughly enjoyed, and her getting very frustrated with that. And we have Rani Kershaw, the introduction of. They were all buzzing around her, weren't they, cantering on, and she got a mention tonight. So I think Rani's going to be a feature. Yeah.
When I heard that Martha won the Best Jumper award, I thought she was wearing a top that won the award.
Oh, yes.
And all about the Archer's jumper.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Merch is available.
I've got that down as a flop, Philippa. I mean, I couldn't believe you got a medal for jumping up and down. I mean, that just about sums Paul up, that is, I'm afraid.
Lots of love for Paul on Sunday night.
Yes. Don't
Actually,
you say anything
saying,
again.
I love Paul. Two people.
Oh. Yeah, but you don't get a medal for jumping up and down. What's that? I'm with Justin. There's got to be an element of competition, element of achievement.
I'm not very good at jumping, so I think that's fair enough.
You're not very good at jumping.
I'm not. No, I'm not a strong
Okay.
jumper.
She's
There
not
we
a
go.
leaper.
You you would have got a medal for having the best tan this week, Philippa. That's the way it was going. Everybody got a medal.
YouTube exclusive. Come and have a look at
Yes.
Philippa's tan.
Just a little
Were you
break away.
surprised to see the return of Laura?
Yes.
I like the return of Laura.
Yeah.
I think she's
Oh.
great.
He was also quite flirty with her, I thought. I wouldn't want
Yes.
mercy from you, Laura.
Yes, and she said, "Oh, Denise, well, she doesn't know who it's. She doesn't know it's Denise, does she? She says, "Oh, whoever it is, she's a lucky woman."
Yeah.
There's a little flicker there as well, a definite flicker on Laura's side. Yeah. So I think
we-
Laura and Rani are going to be popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the sort of unraveling of Emma that seems to be happening
God.
tonight? How angry she was with Justin, wanting a hot coffee and being offered a complimentary croissant
Ooh.
instead. What do we think's going to happen?
Well, she's going to
They've
have
got
to.
to crumble.
Yeah, she's got to have to tell Ed. I mean, everybody's going to find out in the family. She can't hold it in. Like, she was that close, wasn't she, to telling Fallon tonight, I think. And she's been that close to somebody else. She nearly cracked with somebody else, I can't remember. So, but, you know, God, how many more warning bells do her friends and family need? She's going to bits.
Yeah.
And she's saying, oh, it's the stress of the trial and all this.
New business.
I'm not convinced. Yeah, and that she was so happy with the new business, as
Yeah.
Fallon pointed out this evening. So it's not convincing, is it?
I feel
No,
like it's still a bit of a reach that I'm supposed to believe that her and Will wouldn't have told Ed.
I agree,
That would
I
have come
agree.
up. Also, Will
I
was
find
an
that weird.
absolute flop of mine this week because he was just so useless. Despite having worked on a farm for 25 years, he's being turned away. They'd rather him not be there entirely. Oh, and just his advice to George and just, I just think, Will, you will never be my star of the week. I will never fancy you, Will. Never.
Oh, there's a statement.
Cut to
I
3
do,
months' time.
yes.
I love Will.
I do think Emma has explained why she's not telling Ed, because she's convinced Ed will go straight to the authorities, and she's just
Well, then it takes it out
obsessed
of her
about-
hands then, which maybe is what she needs.
right.
Yeah.
We're out of time. Let's go to
God.
Star of the Week, Katie.
My star of the week is Lillian. 3 reasons. Because she was described as not bulldozable, and the fact that she liked being called that, I thought that was brilliant. I loved her drooling over Justin's outfits because I thought that was hilarious. And also just how she's backing up Alice. It's wonderful. That little chat her and Alice had, I thought was lovely. When Alice got all choked up and everything, I thought that was brilliant. So yeah, Lillian, love you.
Lillian it is.
What was Justin dressed up as?
Like
The
a
ringmaster.
He was a
yeah.
ringmaster.
Oh,
sexy
with a whip
ringmaster.
and
Greatest showman.
and a top hat. Yeah. Does it do
Whatever
that do
you
it?
fancy.
Well,
Does that do it for you three?
it doesn't take much to get me going, so yeah, that probably would actually. Yeah, probably. Not outside the realms of possibility.
Shameless. So hold on. So if Will got dressed up in a Master of Ceremonies outfit,
If he was
Come on.
capable, then yeah, maybe. But I'm not having this wet fish is what I get with Will. No, it's not for me.
Lauren, I dread to ask, who's your Star of the Week?
Well, probably Azra because of the bookstore, and I just felt she was just beyond exasperated. But like I said, I was so delighted to have Brad back. I love Brad. So not in a fancying way, guys. I just think he's such a lovely maths obsessed teen who's just having a lovely time and treats Mia beautifully. But we'll go with Azra.
Quentin?
well, you've stolen mine. I was going to go with Azra. I just like the way she.
I'll have
I
Brad
like
then.
the way she. I like the way she. As I said, her growing exasperation at the fate. I thought she was great. But I'd also, yeah, you've had two. I'd say Susan was also great this week as well. So far, I think she's been really interesting to listen to, and the progression of her anxiety about Clive returning. So yeah, those two.
Yeah,
Leaving nothing for Philippa.
No, I was going to say Susan as well. So yes, just as a little bonus content for YouTube, we heard tonight that there was talk of George going to the cinema. What do we think he was going to watch? I had a quick look at films
Deadpool
current.
Wolverine.
Yeah, that was my initial thought, Katie. Basic.
Yes. I was wondering, just taking the titles as a bit of a spin on his situation.
Trap.
Despicable Me, Cuckoo for Clive, and Inside Out, because Clive's not
very
inside
good, very
anymore.
good. There's also
He's,
a very good film out of the cinema at the moment called Trap. So that might be, I feel like Clive's maybe setting a trap for him. Take that too. Cinema bands.
And,
good.
or Confessions of a Tree Surgeon.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Yes. Right, predictions are only time for one and very quick.
How are
'cause we're
you
so
not
over.
doing the food? You're so upset.
I know.
You don't want to do the food.
Just because, okay, I'll race through it. Pineapple, tinned ham, complimentary croissant, toast, vegan food.
Fairy cake as well.
Fairy cake.
Fairy cake. Katie's prediction, quick.
I've got Clive and Kate fall in love. They forget everything in the past. They fall in love. They start a spiritual home ×2 with even bigger yurts, bigger yoga, and pineapple for breakfast.
Yeah, brilliant. Lauren?
Influx of skyrocketing vitamin B levels in Ambridge. And also, I think Emma will spill before our next episode. She's going to tell someone before the next episode. I'm going big. It was this time last month I got it right.
You
Yes,
did.
true. That's
Quentin?
true. Well, I think we're going to actually hear from Bert Horrobin. Silent Bert Horrobin.
Exciting.
Very good. I think we've heard that you can trust Brad to keep a secret, so I think George will tell him and put him under pressure.
I hope not.
That's it for this
Good
week.
one.
I'll be back next week with Katie. We've got a cast interview for you on Saturday, the 7th of September. If you join the Facebook group, you will get details from tomorrow onwards and can pose questions. We've got a Patreon live at 7:30 on October the 18th. Until then, it's a goodbye from me.
Ta-ra from me.
Goodbye from me.
And bye-bye from Padstow.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.